We have surprise entertainment for you today. A short video is going to play in just a couple minutes. But before we launch the video, I have a couple of very brief thank yous that I would like to offer. Okay. First of all, very special thanks to Chris Cormus and the communication and events team for bringing us all together today. A special shout out to Teresa, Lauren, and Stephanie. Thank you all so much. Okay. I should add a footnote that Stephanie pulls these things off while she was enrolled in my preterm MBA class in the evening program. So it is kind of hard to believe, but Paul and I arrived downstairs just about a year ago. And so I think one of the most important things that I'd like to do is thank all of the people who get behind Paul and I every day. It's a great environment down there. Every day is very complicated. Every day is busy. Every day has lots of surprises. But we have the support and maybe most important, the good humor of people in the office, especially Sandra, Matt, Blaine, in the Vice Dean's office, Val and Christy, and then, of course, all of the teams that are behind them. All of you make our work not just possible, but fun. For everything you've done for us for the past year, thank you so much. Okay. So. And now I think my most important job is to get out of the way so that you can enjoy our Hollywood blockbuster. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Imagine a world where our biggest private and public institutions are led by Georgetown McDonough grads who have the tools, the capabilities, and who are lit by the Jesuit mission to make a difference, to serve the common good. I want to live in that world. I'm sure you do. And I'm hoping together we move in that direction. Business schools face a hyper-competitive environment. If we're going to succeed in that environment, we have to be smart. We have to be sensible in a way that increases our effectiveness and our efficiency. Plus, we're going to have to be strategic. We're going to have to choose where we compete and how we compete. One of the things I'm most excited about is the dynamics in our competitive environment. This gives opportunities to those who are willing to try new things and apply them intelligently. That's innovative. That's who we are. In a competitive environment, the worst thing you can do is say, I'm going to try harder. Instead, if you identify your capabilities, you can make a huge difference. And we're lucky at Georgetown. We have 3 distinctive capabilities. Firstly, we're in Washington, D.C. Can you think of a better learning environment? We have this opportunity to leverage this for the success of our students and for our research. The second advantage is we're at Georgetown, a great institution with immense expertise and reputation. If you think of most of the big problems facing the world, they are interdisciplinary. And the solutions for these problems are essentially in business, but with law and with policy and with international relations. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, we're a part of a 450-year-old Jesuit heritage, and we're going to make that legacy a reality on an everyday basis. So we live in a challenging and confusing world, but I think very often we need to remind ourselves about why we're really here. We need a compass to guide us into the future. If we remember our values and why we're here, if we remember that we can create wonderful research that makes a difference to the world, if we remember that our duty is towards our students, their formation and learning, we have true north. We have a wonderful chance to make a difference, but we can only do this if we work together. And this is a chance for us to keep defining ourselves and grow ourselves, even as we make a positive difference to the world. So I hope you'll join me on this journey. It's going to be fun, we're going to be successful, and we're going to discover even more about ourselves along the way.
It's amazing what they can do with such little talent. And I've already have an aversion to green ties. When I was, you were all coming in, and since I had nothing to do, I was greeting everyone. Kathy asked me if this is a receiving line and whether it's a wedding or a funeral. And I think given the moonshine jars on your table, it must be a wedding in West Virginia. So thank you all for being here. We have a large and wonderful school. It always hits me when I walk up and see all of you. And sitting next to me is Professor Otmar Winkler, who's 2 months over 96. And who joined our school over 50 years ago and was one of the first people to welcome me here 24 years ago. So, Otmar, we're so glad you're here. So, let me get straight to the point. Thanks to all of you, we've had a very successful year, and I'm truly grateful. Our school has had successes on so many fronts. Last year, our faculty had more publications in referee journals than ever before, and many of the articles were in top journals in each discipline. Not surprisingly, our research rank in Financial Times increased 10 positions to 19th in the world. So, when I was practicing and mentioned it to my wife, she said, they obviously don't miss your research capabilities. I've got a tough audience at home. We've hired 5 exceptional assistant professors. Welcome, Yasmina, Caitlin, Jordan, Liz, and Shofe. We're so glad to have you. If you're here, can you stand up so we can applaud you? You're going to get all the attention. You know, I've no doubt you'll further enhance our research productivity, and we don't mean to put any pressure on you. Our faculty continue to excel as teachers. Kirsten Anderson won the campus-wide Dorothy Brown Award. But for all of you who've sat in an accounting class, think about it. An accounting professor wins the Best Professor Award at the university. That's something truly special. Kirsten, congratulations. And we've launched new programs like the Executive Masters in Leadership in Qatar. Thank you, Badia, where are you? And Mike McDermott as well. And grown others like the Master of Science in Finance. Thank you, Alan. We've also launched numerous new courses in fields like technology and design thinking, and I know you've all been innovative even within your existing courses. And of course, our staff. Our staff continue to innovate with our faculty. You know, complex courses like the MBA Executive Challenge or our flawless graduation ceremonies don't take place by themselves. They require sophisticated management and real dedication. At every level, executive, graduate, undergraduate, and across all our support functions, including technology, finance, communications, and innovation, your daily interactions with faculty, students, alumni, media, and so many others have built the character of our school and set us apart. So thank you to all our administrators. Thank you so much. So many successes. No wonder in the first ever Financial Times ranking of business schools, as opposed to just programs, we were ranked number 12 in the United States. And it's a reflection of all our different programs, our faculty, our staff together. This is what we've achieved. I can safely say this is our highest ranking ever, since it was the first ranking. As you know, we have a 10-year financial agreement with the university, a plan that is about being both fiscally responsible and yet allowing us to focus on program and research quality. Last year, we not only kept to the plan, but delivered a significant surplus, a surplus that we expect to retain for future use. So we're in sound financial shape, and we intend to continue to invest in our people and programs. And due to your dedication, our alumni and parents are fiercely loyal. I've discovered that every time I go on the road. And last year, we raised more money than at any time in the last 10 years. And it all goes into my pocket. And after that line, my wife asked, "And where's our new house?" So thank you all, especially Pietro Rivoli and Brooks Oldham, who have graciously shouldered so much of the burden. You know, I always say, I talk and Pietro does. In the first few months, she used to say no, no, no. Now she says yes, yes, yes. Thank you to our area coordinators, to the leaders of our centers, our programs, our officers. It's really been my privilege to work with you, and it's been a great ride. And this would be a good time for me to stop and declare victory and move gently into the sunset. Shall we do that? But the future... Jason. But the future holds challenges as well. Competition, especially at the graduate level, is not just high, but it's increasing. We now have NYU and UVA not just recruiting, but offering programs in our backyard. By the way, if you wanted to boo, this would be a good time. MBA programs continue to mature, and the need for scholarships is increasing and increasing rapidly. Technology is changing the industries that hire our students. Senior executives tell me that the job of an analyst or an associate in 3 years or 5 years is going to be very different than today or 3 years in the past. And though we do have a positive and collaborative relationship with our university, we still need to continue to help our colleagues at the university better recognize the unique challenges of business schools, the hyper-competitive environment that we face, and the organization and the investments that we will need if we're going to be successful in the future. And while we are in good financial shape, we face constraints, especially on space, and we are often limited by university policies in our ability to hire and reward staff. This is our reality. But I think this reality offers us a lot of hope. If we're smart, if we're innovative, if we are distinctive, we will be able to compete even more effectively in the future. So over the last year, we've begun projects that take us along this path. And I'd like to share just a few examples. For instance, we live in an industry that is no longer solely defined by MBA programs. Do you remember the day when you said, what's your school ranking? You were talking about MBA programs. There are business schools with no full-time MBAs anymore. The rise of specialized masters is very evident, and we're not going to be immune to the forces of change. Some of our programs will shrink, and others may need to be discontinued. So we need to build a portfolio of programs, and we need to manage this portfolio well. In line with this, we're working on a master's in management degree. Think of it as a fifth-year master's for college undergrads who need jobs and business skills. I've got 2 college kids. We will need to successfully launch this master's to make sure it has a Georgetown flavor, and also to grow our faculty, staff, and space to sustain its success. So we're going to need to be smart, but being smart's not going to be enough. The world is changing, and we're going to have to be innovative. In the area of technology, for instance, we're lucky to have some money donated by a couple of alumni to help us embrace emerging technologies more fully. And when one of these gentlemen talked to me, he said this. He said, you need to train your students not just to be able to go and work in the next hedge fund or private equity area and fit in. We need them to be able to teach the older guys like me what competing in this new world is like. And so we will use these small grants available from these donations to make available money to faculty, staff, and student groups for research, teaching, learning, or operations related to technology. And you will get a notice about this fairly soon. Already we have some examples in a project I think is really cool. Bob Thomas, Adam Hahn, and others have started working on virtual reality to see how we can capture Pietro's travels of the T-shirt in the global economy and bring it home more realistically to people so they can walk into a Chinese sweatshop and understand the international business implications, the ethics implications. We need to look at this. Jason Schlotzer and David Erkins are taking an MIT course to better understand how AI will impact business and business education. And I think they'll come and share what they learn with all of us. And we're lucky to have a community of thousands of well-placed alumni and parents who are eager to help us succeed. And to harness this potential, Michael O'Leary is experimenting with what we're calling a co-teaching program, where interested faculty will be paired with alumni or parents with significant experience in industry. The faculty member will still have to run the course and unfortunately do all the grading. But think about this. You have a partner in the alumnus who will bring in insights and expertise and resources in the real world in which our students are going to work and thrive. Let's make use of this. Finally, we have to be smart, yes, innovative, yes, but perhaps the biggest need is to be distinctive. We have to shape the game, not just play the same game harder. And we're lucky to have many areas of distinction. Our global Georgetown identity, our Washington, D.C. network and locations, our Jesuit heritage. We've talked about this for years. Since I came here, definitely, and probably since Professor Winkler came here. It's our challenge now to take those extra steps to make these distinctive capabilities really work for us. So that when people sit in a class or see our research or meet our faculty or meet our staff, they say, that's Georgetown and they're different. We live in a world in which big issues of our day, climate change, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, global health, demand insights and expertise that draw on multiple areas. So Brad Jensen, Pietro Rivoli, Marsha Mintz, and others have been working on a Bachelor of Science in Business and Global Affairs with the School of Foreign Service, the first joint undergraduate degree in Georgetown's history. It combines expertise in business, international relations, policy, and many innovative ways of learning. I believe that this program, first, can possibly become the most selective program in the United States. And secondly, I think it will signal to the world that we are best in an important area of education, research, and practice. And this will have spillover effects on every activity in which we engage. In the area of scholarship, we are supporting research conferences such as Data, Dollars, and Votes that link traditional business disciplines to important policy issues. And we're launching activities that enable us to really live our Jesuit values. For instance, we're developing an inspiring program called the Pivot Program to help break the cycle of prison and poverty by enabling a group of formerly incarcerated citizens to study entrepreneurship. Through this program, we have the opportunity to make a difference to the less fortunate, to give back to DC and our community, and an opportunity to learn from and with our returning citizens. Alyssa Lovegrove is serving as the academic director, and many of our strongest faculty have stepped up to contribute. These are just a few examples of what we're doing to bring our vision to life. But let's, in everything we do, in our research, in our teaching, in our administration, let's examine continuously how can we be distinctive, how can we be innovative, so that we really live up to our potential. We will minimize effective competition in an increasingly competitive world, and we will better align ourselves and our students and our research with the future. And I know you're also busy and you're pulled in many directions. So it's important for us to work smarter, not just harder. And to help us make decisions, we have a compass to point us in that right direction, true north. So, if it's good for research that makes a positive difference to the world, directly or indirectly, short-term or long-term, if it's good for students' learning and formation, let's embrace it. I believe the market will reward us. A couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to welcome the incoming freshman class. And I like talking to people, so I took max amount of time to try to greet every freshman, every parent. And the funny thing was some of the Indian parents came and met me like 3 times. And I chatted to them, and it was an immensely satisfying experience. And it came home to me how much they trust us. They were trusting us with the most precious part of their lives, their children, at an emotional time. And they said, I'm not worried, we trust you. They were trusting us to help them grow, to learn, to be successful, and to make a difference. And when, during the year, I visited alumni who opened, really, their hearts and their pocketbooks to us, I realized that they too trust us. They trust us to uncover the complexities of business through our research, to discover how business and management and leadership can create a better world, and to help build successful women and men to serve the common good. Friends, the world trusts us. The world needs us. We have both an awesome responsibility and a wonderful opportunity. And I know if we keep our sights on true north, together we will not just live up to that trust. We will be successful collectively and individually. and we'll have a great time doing so. Thank you so much.